Yes, sir.
All right, so we're here. We're going to continue on our butterfly guard series. We're going to work on an arm drag and then into a couple different variations of sweeps off of it. All right, so we're here. I'm working with Chad. Things are going well, but for whatever reason, I can't get my over/under to get the traditional butterfly. Right? Most people don't suck. Chad got a purple belt on purpose, so he's not going to let me just go, hey, I have an over/under. He's going to hand fight. He's going to do all those things. First thing we're going to look for is on the side we want to drag, I'm going to get a reverse grip on his wrist. If you're playing in the pajamas, you can actually grab the cloth. If not, you're looking to just lock that wrist, right? If you're MMA, locking right at the back of, or the Velcro of the glove right before the pad starts. That's where you want to lock in. All you're going to look to do here, pull that arm across, and our other hand is going to reach right for where his tricep meets his armpit. That's going to be where we want to grab. Now, once again, if you wear pajamas, grab the pajamas. If not, just set in a solid grip. And you're pulling this all the way across to your far side hip, like you're tucking his elbow in your hip pocket. Once you get here, all you're going to look to do is slide up. In the gi, I like to grab the belt. If not, I like to just reach across for that hip. I'm going to slide up, load him here, and then I'm taking him over the shoulder. I'm not taking him to the side, I'm taking him here. Ideal world, you land in mount, and then you can start attacking the arm. Sometimes you're going to land somewhere in between 3/4 mount, side, half. Doesn't matter. Get to top, address your problems at that point. The goal is get from bottom to top with this, not get from bottom to mount. So we're here, we're hand fighting, I'm doing things, I get my grip. As soon as that grip's set, boom, reach, pull. As soon as that pull comes across, grab that belt. Because he's naturally going to try to pull back here. And that's going to allow me to load. I use that pull back to load myself. Turn. Follow over. This time I landed in 3/4 mount. Doesn't matter. I'm going to collect arms and work from there. Goal is get the sweep first, then address whatever problems happens when you land. Questions on this? We'll walk through it a few more times, but questions. Biggest part of this, guys, is a lot of you try to just go here and go, no, I have to start hand fighting with him and disguising this as much as I can. That way when he goes to pull this back, that helps me load. And if you're not comfortable with someone sitting here like this on your shins, you need to work on it. That's why we do the warm-up drill. I don't care how big they are, this gorilla here, I will sit them on my shins and play. Alright? You have to get comfortable with loading people here. That's how you're going to be successful in butterfly. Alright? Other questions on this? It's a nice setup for a variety of options that we're going to continue working on. Like I said, biggest details. Get this wrist across. Connect to that armpit. A lot of people try to just grab that elbow. Realize, especially no-gi, that elbow, the second he tries to pull it out, you don't have enough track to get set a good grip. So when I'm in that armpit and he tries to pull his arm out, my arm naturally catches at the elbow anyway. So I want to start a little bit higher, that way in case my grip does slip, I'm still there. Boom, like I said, if you got the grip, great. If not, just reach across, pull. Questions, comments, or concerns? Fill her out. 1, 2, 3. Boom, we're working, I get my grip, right? Boom, I pull, I get the drag here. But for whatever reason, he starts to pull back and I just don't feel confident in sweeping here, right? Not everyone sucks at jiu-jitsu. It's unfortunate. All we're going to do, on the same side that we have the arm, that leg, I'm just going to retract my knee a little bit to get the arch of my foot right on the inside of his knee. All we're going to look to do is kick that leg out and re-drag. Pop. Now, as that happens, Chad doesn't suck, so he's probably going to post this hand, which is great. He's going to start to work up. my arm that is in the arm drag is going to post his hand to that mat. As soon as I feel that post land, I'm going to post up, work to take that back. Now, if you're a little bit on the big side or a little on the unathletic side, like myself, I'm very unathletic most days. Chad appreciates my unathleticism. Boom, I pull, I get here, he starts to do all that. I'm going to kick that base out. I'm going to grab that hip and pull him over into my back mount. If you're on the Devin, Carson, Young, and Athletic team, you're going to wait for that hand post, boom, come up, backpack drill, start attacking that back. But the goal is you get here, boom, as we pull that out, I kick that so it bites that post. I resecure that post here, and that's what gives me the hip leverage to come up. As soon as my hips come off the mat, boom, we follow around to the back. Now, for distance sake, you want your belt and his belt to either be equal or your belt to be below his. So when I come here, boom, I get here. I do not want my belt way up top. I'm too high, and you get to do a forward roll off his back for all your effort. You want to be behind his hips. So I'm here, boom. As soon as I come up, I'm coming behind his hips, where my belt is below his belt. That's what's going to allow me to take this back. Backpack drill, joke Chad as needed. Questions on this? Biggest thing on this is getting that hand post to that hip motion. Now, it's going to seem crazy, Devin. It's almost like if we did a drill where you brought your hips up like that. If only we warmed up with something like that, Devin. It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? It'd be kind of nice to have a warm-up drill that made sense, right? I promise you guys I don't make you do forward rolls and all the weird shit we do at the beginning of class because it's fun to watch. It's like watching teenagers fuck. It doesn't look right half the time. But you guys are figuring out the motions, and those motions apply in a lot of the different positions we're working. Alright, we're here. Pull. I'm still going to grab this grip if I need to. That way when I kick that out, boom, I can post his hand. I come up, hips low, attack that back. Nice part is you'll probably already have one hook in. All you'll have to do, break his posture down, start to attack things as needed. Questions on this, guys?
Are you keeping a hold of that right hand?
Making sure. This hand? So I'm keeping a hold of this hand until I follow him all the way here. Once I'm here, then I'm going to go to like backpack drill, which you don't know yet, but I'm going to come to grips here, or I'm going to start working to choke you. I'm going to start threatening him immediately. Hey, you don't get to be comfortable here. I'm going to start choking you, which is going to make Chad start to defend that. Then allows me to get my second hook and start to do other things. So as soon as those hips come over, that post hand is no longer, it's no longer your key focus. That hand post is important till those hips get over. Once the hips are over, you're good. Carson?
We're putting the arm drag, so that and the kick in the knee out, is that like bang bang or like simultaneous?
Bang bang. So when I'm here, I'm going here. I don't feel confident in the sweep. Bang. Now you can hit it as a simultaneous if you prefer this back take. Like if I know I don't want to sweep Chad because I don't want to get to mount on him, right? He's got really good defense. That's annoying to try to armbar him from there. Much easier to hit from his back, personally, right? So for me, I may hit this immediately, or you can hit it as a 1-2 punch type deal. Does that make sense? I prefer it as a 1-2 punch because it gives you more options. Where if you kick that out, you're basically committing to the back take. Does that make sense? Other questions on this, guys? Drill her out. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. So I'm here with Chad. We're working. Boom, I arm drag. Boom, I kick the leg out. But I post and he starts to come back before I can really get underneath him and try to start taking his back, right? He doesn't suck, unfortunately. Real inconvenient for me when people don't suck at jiu-jitsu. All we're gonna do, guys, is go back to that sweep. So our hand that is on the arm drag is gonna come out and it's gonna shoot across his chest to come underneath his arm. Our hand that was on the belt, I'm gonna go gable grip here. I'm gonna collapse this elbow over, pull up, turn him over. Nice part with this one is, guys, you really have two options. If you keep the grip, you can actually turn this into another back. If not, you just follow it up and you're in combat mount to mount. Violence as needed from here. For those of us uncivilized, you just punch them until a ref politely asks you to stop hitting. For those of us who don't play punch face, there's an arm bar and some other violence here. Nice part is you have some options. But the goal is with this series, guys, it's not I have one option from butterfly guard. I can hit a butterfly guard sweep. It's how fast can I chain these options together to get him walking down the path I want. Chad doesn't suck. I can't hit my first move on him. Hell, most of you don't suck enough that I can just hit my first move on you. So I get here, boom, I hit the arm drag. That's not going to work. Chad's going to start to pull that out. Okay, I'll kick his leg out. He's going to keep going. Okay, that's not fun. I get back under him, get my grip, come here, boom, turn him over, take that back. You have to be able to chain 2, 3, 5 moves together to get good at jiu-jitsu. I promise you, beating other white belts with your random swing up arm bar doesn't last long. It has to be that arm bar into that triangle, back to the arm bar, to the Kimura, to this, to that. That, when you start chaining things together, like we talk about that options bar, that's when you start to figure jiu-jitsu out. The longer that options bar can be for you, like in the new journal I got, they have like a flow chart where it's like, okay, I start here in butterfly guard. I'm gonna hit my butterfly guard sweep, my arm drag. I can either normal sweep, take the back. Okay, he stops the back take, I can re-sweep, or I can attack the wrist. The more you can start putting those chains together, and the longer that gets, the more effective your jiu-jitsu is going to be. All right? Questions on this re-sweep? It's simple but not easy. JJ?
Tuesday, I was having trouble.
Yeah. Here was the problem I kept seeing Tuesday with the load. Boom, I get here. Boom, we get to here. And a lot of you guys were falling back to this hip and then couldn't figure out why you couldn't roll this way. You have to rock across your back. So when I get here, it's not falling back this way. It's falling back towards the shoulder I'm sweeping. That was the mistake I kept seeing Tuesday with a lot of people. You guys were falling, if my grip's here, you were falling back like this and then couldn't figure out why you couldn't drag your opponent across you. When I come here, I have that grip, I'm falling this way still. Does that make sense? That was the big mistake I kept seeing Tuesday.
So is it still that diagonal motion? Not sideways, not to the side, but...
Yes, it's still that diagonal. Yeah, we're always working off 45s. Realize 90% of jiu-jitsu works off of 45-degree angles. Triangles, arm bars, all those things is getting those angles to... Math has strength in it. I can't explain it to you, and Pat's not here to explain it to me and then explain it to you. So math has power. We have to use it and harness it. Math, science, use it. Not smart enough to explain it. I just choke people for fun. So I'm here with Chad. Boom. That's why I'm pulling his arm across to that 45. Dragging, kicking his leg out at that 45. I start to come here, get that gable grip, and I want to have this hand to where if I wanted to, I could dig and put my palm on his shoulder blade. A lot of you guys were like trying to reach this hand over to connect your fingers. This hand has to dig so that you can connect on the top of his shoulder blade. That's what's going to allow you to pull here and come off to that 45. And then like I said, for you two, violence as needed. So a ref politely asks you to stop. That's all what refs normally do to me. They're like, hey Dustin, please stop hitting me. So, other questions on this? Knock the driller out. 1, 2, 3. One more piece to the puzzle because I like to choke people. Alright? So boom, we get here, right? I start to hit the arm drag. Boom, I kick out. And Chad starts to really back out, and I don't appreciate that, right? It's like, hey man, I was trying to do something here, can you not? Right, all we're gonna do is switch our hands. Here. And I want to put the knuckle of my thumb right on the bottom side of his ear. Once you get there, I'm gonna let go here and snap that head. It's gonna allow me to come over the top here. Now, your goal is to put the palm of your hand in the middle of your bicep. Here. That's gonna allow you to then fall over and squeeze. Now, generally you wanna trap the leg and walk everything in. Gets real nasty real fast. As Chad can attest to. So we're here, boom, I arm drag, boom. I re-reach with this hand. Here, and I'm generally going to snap that head with this hand, or if I have the collars or something I can get a hold of, I'll get a hold with that and snap that head down. Get my tricep right on the back of that head. Here, this hand isn't going to the back of his jacket, it's going to the far side shoulder. That way when we collapse down, I'm going to crunch everything in and finish that choke. I know what he's saying. So, questions on this?
Those must be really short.
Commit your shoulder.
Can you gable grip it though?
Yes, you can gable grip over the top of this. Two things that'll help you in the length disadvantaged class. When you pull this hand in, this shoulder, you have to commit here. Now, if you can't get to this grip, come over the top here. Now, your pinch is going to have to be solid, but you can finish from there. Palm to palm, collapse the elbows, bicep curl them in. Here, here, here. Curl and fall over the top of it. It's a nasty grip, much easier to defend. So that's why you're coming over here and trying to collapse on top of it, because it's a much easier grip to fight off, which is why I don't recommend it as option A. Now, if you're in the length disadvantaged club, it may be your best option, but if not, slide here, start to connect, fall to this side. Questions on this? One more time.
What are the spots in there? The question I have.
Boom. We're here. Bah. This hand feeds. As soon as this hand feeds, boom, this hand comes over. As soon as it comes over, we're going to fall to that arm. I'm going to crunch everything in, squeeze. Make sense?
So you've already decided the moment you arm drag, you've already decided what you're going to do.
Because it's in that options bar. Because some people will lower their, this is a really good one for people who lower their hips when you go for the arm drag. So I arm drag Chad, he lowers his hips. I'm not going to fight you about it. Just choke you about it. That's where I like this one a lot, because a lot of people will get that kind of panicked, especially if they're flexible like a Dewey or someone like that. They'll just go wide base. You're not sweeping me from here. If I'm, my feet are, I can hit the inverted lotus or whatever the hell yoga positions he does. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you about the fact I want this sweep, right? Boom, you go to lower those hips. Guess what that sets you into? This. Especially if I can get that neck turned, I can finish from right there. It's a stronger grip, but it's easier to defend.
And what is it like if you're struggling to get their head down? Like,
Snap their head with this hand. Or like if I'm here and he starts really bringing his head up, I will get down there. Or get down, I will force his head down. Especially if I want that choke.
Can you show me that?
Yeah, I'll show it. All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3.